Republican Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. Senator, thanks so much for making time for us. I know it is a crazy busy afternoon there.
Kate, great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Could I start with the breaking news this afternoon, and that is over at the White House. I'm sure you've heard by now the National Security Advisor, General Mike Flynn, came out and delivered what he called putting Iran on notice. President Trump said that when he was campaigning that they would dismantle the Iran nuclear deal. Are we seeing the beginnings, the first steps of that today?
Well, I hope we are, because I will tell you, Iran with a nuclear weapon makes the world less safe, less stable, less secure. And after President Obama went around Congress, ignored the will of the American people to do this Iran deal, I had great concern. And this is a deal that Iran basically has refused to comply with, and President Obama refused to enforce. So I'm happy to see, and now today, as you know, we just got Rex Tillerson confirmed to be Secretary of State. Bipartisan vote. You had Republicans and Democrats alike voting to confirm him. I think we're heading in the right direction.
And it doesn't concern you. Some critics have said already in the last hour that the way that it was handled, that, you know, going out and saying something very publicly in a statement at the podium in the press briefing room was sort of too forward or too getting ahead of yourself.
Well, people will say what they will, but I will tell you that this Iran deal, when the president decided to go to the United Nations instead of the United States Senate, that was basically ignoring the will of the American people. I think this is a bad deal from the beginning. I'm opposed to it, but I'm glad to see Rex Tillerson getting today confirmed with a bipartisan vote.
While he was being confirmed, we've just been reporting that Betsy DeVos, the pick for Education Secretary, may be in a bit of trouble. First of all, you support her, correct? You plan to vote for her?
Absolutely. I support local control of education, having parents and students and teachers working closely together. All kids learn differently. And I think the more opportunities you can make for children, instead of a one-size-fits-all with Washington making this decision, I think the better it is for education in this country.
But, Senator, are you concerned at this hour that she may not have the votes from your colleagues?
Well, each senator gets to vote and speak for themselves, so we're going to have a vote on Friday, and I'm looking forward to having her as the next Secretary of Education. Friday
is your understanding? The vote will move to Friday?
My understanding is that the next vote coming up on her is on Friday.
Okay. Let's talk about Neil Gorsuch, please. That's the Supreme Court nominee that we learned of last night. Will you have the 60 votes needed, do you think? Will Republicans have those 60 votes to get him through?
Well, he is an excellent choice. He's an all-star choice to follow Justice Scalia on the Supreme Court. When you talk about somebody who is just so well qualified, he will get confirmed to be the next member of the United States Supreme Court. I can assure you of that.
With the help of Democrats, with some of your Democratic colleagues, or not?
Well, when you look at statements previously the Democrats have made, including former Democrat Senator Ken Salazar from Colorado, he has had lots of praise heaped on him over the years from Republicans and Democrats alike because of how good of a job he has done as a judge. He was, he got to this 10th Circuit with a unanimous vote in the United States Senate. No one opposed him. So I think he is eminently well qualified for this position, and he will be confirmed.
As you know, Senator, a lot of your fellow Democrats are saying that they respect him and they might even like him, but they're concerned and angry about what happened during President Obama's term and his choice for the Supreme Court, Merrick Garland, and that Republicans would not even give him a hearing. Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley said in a statement last night, quote, "The most fundamental thing that must be understood about the announcement, last night's announcement, is that this is a stolen seat. This is the first time in American history that one party has blockaded a nominee for almost a year in order to deliver a seat to a president of their own party. If this tactic is rewarded rather than resisted, it will set a dangerous new precedent in American governance." Can you understand why Democrats are upset?
No, I can't, because Joe Biden said he would have done essentially the same thing and said that on the floor of the Senate when he was a senator nearing the end of a president's term. We know Chuck Schumer said the same thing. Harry Reid, the same thing. So when you're in the middle of a presidential election, I think it's only appropriate and right that the next president should be the one to select the new member of the Supreme Court when a vacancy occurs the way it had here. That's what we said. Donald Trump put out a name of 21 different jurists, each of which were superb. But I'll tell you, I am just so proud that President Trump chose Mr. Gorsuch, Judge Gorsuch. He is terrific. He has the right temperament. He is just so well qualified for this position, and he will be confirmed to the Supreme Court.
Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming joining us in between votes and lots of activity on Capitol Hill. Always appreciate your time, sir. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks for having me.